What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is Saturday over here. Bitcoin currently is right underneath 28K. It is at that major resistance I've been talking about, where the daily 200 SMA and the weekly 200 SMA are basically stacked in that zone. So very important to be paying attention to Bitcoin right now, because if Bitcoin can get past this resistance, it would look a lot more bullish for the altcoins in the short term at the least. Of course, if it does get a rejection here, it could bring quite a bit of these altcoins down with it. So very important to be paying attention to Bitcoin right now. The main topic of this post would be about VRA token, Verasity, see what has gone on in this market. I know I've already done a post on this coin earlier this week, and since we had some pretty active price action here, I am going to be following up with this coin today. So let's see what has changed in this market. Let's also take a look into some upside and downside price targets for this coin and some key price levels to be paying attention to in order for this coin to go either direction. I'm going to be giving you guys my personal sentiment and opinions on this overall crypto markets later in this video, so make sure to stay around for that. Of course, none of what I'm saying here is financial advice. It's purely my personal sentiment, opinions, and speculations. I could very well be wrong. I am not a financial advisor nor an elite trader of any sort, even though I am a profitable trader who's been able to keep most of my profits during the last bear markets. And I'm looking to crush it here for the next bull cycle. So if you guys feel the same way, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's get right into the charts here. All right, so we're going to talk about Bitcoin first because it's, like I said, it's very important to be paying attention to Bitcoin right now. If Bitcoin actually pulls back, things could look a lot more different for this altcoin market, right? So, like I said, Bitcoin is trying to actually reclaim the daily 200 SMA as well as the weekly 200 SMA. Weekly candles coming up in about a day, so very important to be paying attention to it right now. There could be some price action even on right here at Pacific Standard Time. So around Sunday afternoon, could possibly see some price action because that would be a Monday candle somewhere else, right? So right now, like I said, Bitcoin trying to break and reclaim the daily 200 SMA first, right? And then we have the weekly 200 SMA at about that level as well, 28K area, right? Since the price action has been pumping for the past couple of weeks, this price action has recently formed a rising wedge, which is typically a bearish pattern, okay? Now, there's quite a bit of moving averages beneath this price action, so that could very likely bounce the price action, right? If the price action does get down to one of those moving averages, you got your daily 21 SMA, about 27K area. I think in that case, you would still have like a rising channel, right? Which is still bearish, but then at least it's not completely breaking down. That's a possibility, right? And then we have the daily 50 SMA, which is the gray line here at about 26.5K area. You have your 3-day 21, 3-day 200 down at about 26.3 to about 26.9. And then you can have your weekly moving averages. You got two of them stacked on top of you, right? Kind of interesting to be paying attention to this weekly candle here, because this kind of tells me that it's a struggle between the bulls and the bears here, right? It's kind of very much squeezed. So it doesn't really seem like either side is really winning. Even though I would take more into consideration of the trend here that has been preceding this week's candle, which is bullish, right? So in my opinion, it is still looking good for the bulls, right? But things could change very, very quickly, as you guys know, in this crypto market. So now the measure target from this rising wedge, right, if it completely breaks down, is going to be about 26.1K area here. Okay, so if if it breaks through all these moving averages, That's basically your measured targets. Measured targets are estimates only, okay? It could be over and under, and just take it with a grain of salt, right? Do your Google searches what some of these what all these trading concepts mean, that I'm talking about. Rising wedges. I'm sure I'm gonna be throwing out quite a bit some more later, okay? Measure moves. Go ahead and Google search them. It's free public knowledge. Go educate yourself. I think that's the single most important thing you can do from watching these videos, is not so you can get some measure target from some random dude on YouTube, but go and educate yourself. It's public knowledge. Judge on your own, right? Now let's go ahead and come to VRA here, right? See what's going on in this market. So let me just do a recap here, okay? So last time I talked about this weekly time frame here, which is a huge time frame, okay? You're going to see a falling wedge, right, which typically breaks to the upside, and this one did. Measure move from this huge falling wedge here is going to give you about 1.2 cents area, okay? Measure targets. Now, price action broke out back in June. Took a lot of time for it to play out, right? This is why, I say take measure targets with a grain of salt, because, you could be stuck in this breakout for weeks before anything happens, and you're going to be just filled with a lot of doubt. So just take the measure target with a grain of salt, right? And then price action finally did have some movement in about, in just the last 2 weeks here, right? Pumped all the way up to about 0.7 cents area, okay? 0.72 cents area, okay? Now, what could the price action be doing here, okay? Now, in my opinion, like I said, this breakout is still very much active because this price action is still on top of this pattern here. So this is still an active breakout, and this measured target will still be taken into consideration here. Let's take a look into the daily time frame. It has been overbought, right, on the RSI here at about 91, okay? Now let's come down here to just do a little bit of a recap since my last post, right? Since my last post, I did talk about a rising wedge on the smaller time frame. It could even be seen here on this 15-minute time frame. Broke down. Measure move from that would be about 0.56 cents area. That's basically been met and some more. So let's go ahead and invalidate these trend lines and make this cleaner to look at. And then I mentioned on the 15-minute time frame here, again, there was a symmetrical triangle pattern, which usually breaks to the direction that was preceding the pattern. In this case, it would have been downwards. However, this price action, this coin did break out of the symmetrical triangle pattern against its probabilities, right? Because like I said, it usually breaks to the downside, but you also have to consider the possibility that it still could break to the upside, right? It's all a probabilities game when I'm talking about these patterns. Okay, it broke to the upside. That seemed to be a fake out, right? Because the price action kind of just, went down and then back up, right? So it's a very short-term pattern. So, I mean, I don't expect too much out of that, but I remember, from the previous post, we didn't really have that much data to be working with. So I just had to, just go and find a pattern, and see what's going on in the short term anyways. Okay. Now let's come over here to the hourly time frame, because now we do have more data, right? Hourly time frame here. Could this even be seen on the 4-hour? It could. Okay, so it's a pretty skinny falling wedge pattern here. Falling wedges typically break to the upside. And the measure target will be, if you take the opening of the pattern, which would be down here. And then you put it on top of a expected breakout date, a future breakout date. I'm just gonna put it at the end of this pattern or near the end of this pattern because it's very close to the end anyways. Measure move is gonna give you about 0.63 cents area. Okay, 0.63 cents area. Okay, so that is what I'm looking at, right? Please go ahead and Google search these trading concepts. I'm basically just telling you what's already on the charts. Okay. I didn't make this up, right? So now let's go ahead and talk about some key price levels that you should be paying attention to in order for this price action to break upwards. Okay. Now, as you guys can see, this market is on top of all daily moving averages at this time. More importantly, it is on top of the daily 200 SMA, which is the orange line here. Which, a lot of times when the price action is on top of the daily 200 SMA, it's seen as bullish, right? Whereas if it's below it, then it's more of a bearish scenario. Now, let's come over here to higher time frame and see if we have any other moving averages that could be acting as resistance. We have the 3-day 200 SMA that's currently at about 0.7 cents area, the orange line here, right? That's quite far away from here, but something to be paying attention to because if the price action is continuing towards the bigger measure move here, that is something to be paying attention to very short term in the future. Monthly time frame, we have the monthly 21 SMA currently at about 0.73 cents area. Okay, so you guys can probably repeat the same exercise like I did, finding moving averages with any other time frames you guys are interested in, as well as looking into past trading history for key supports and resistances as well. I'm not going to do all of that here because for time's sake, and I don't want to bore you guys. Now, let's go ahead and come back down here to look for some key supports here. Okay, we have quite a bit of major moving averages beneath where the prices are right now as key support. Daily 200 SMA at about 0.5 cents area. Daily 21 SMA at about the 0.46 cents area. Daily 50 SMA is currently at about 0.43 cents area. Okay. Repeat this exercise for your 3-day moving averages, your weekly moving averages, or whatever other time frames you guys are interested in. And past trading history as well. Okay. So I'm gonna keep this post short. If there are any updates, I will be sure to give you guys a follow-up on this markets. So if you guys do want to continue seeing updates, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment, letting me know that you guys want to see more of VRA. If enough of you guys want to see it, I will bring you guys a update, okay? Now, my overall sentiment on this market is still overall bullish. I am still long on quite a bit of altcoins. Very cautious, though, because, like I said, Bitcoin is at that 28K level, okay? Very important to be paying attention to it right now because things could be happening pretty soon, okay? There's going to be a move soon. So that's basically it for this post. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.